I am Professor Balasubramanian. I joined IFMR the year 1986, and it's been a very long journey, nearly 40 years of, close to 40 years of teaching, interacting with people like you. I'm basically from the finance domain. And I think, Rajiv, we will basically try to understand a lot of things from you that will be useful to the future students as well as to the institute. So best thing, we'll start with a small introduction of yourself for the benefit of everyone. And then I can ask you a few questions.
Thank you, sir. The pleasure is entirely mine. So I'm Rajiv, and I belong to the PGDM batch 10 of IFMR, which is 2009 to 11 batch. I'm basically an engineer by background. Had done my engineering in IT, and then like the usual run-of-the-mill work in software for little over 2 years. Then continued. Then decided to do my MBA in finance. Now this journey was not entirely preset. I entered IFMR with an open mind. I had a lot of interest and enthusiasm, motivations. Was keenly interested in operations and tech as well. But during the course of the journey at IFMR, I was very deeply influenced by a lot of finance professors, including you, Balasa. So I got to learn so much from the finance area that I ended up getting campus in that domain, and then eventually continued working with Capgemini, where I was working on mostly financial risk consulting projects for a little almost a decade, and then moved over into product management, basically building financial risk products that are used by banking and insurers worldwide as part of Oracle now.
So technically, there is a lot of things you have covered. Your journey at IFMR for 2 years, what are the key takeaways during that period? Once, of course, you said that you got the interest to specialize in finance. But in addition to that, what were the key takeaways that has helped you in your profession?
Yeah, the specialism of IFMR and the well diverse library. I would say I've been to many institutions, both during the college, during my MBA, while visiting other colleges for B-school competitions, case competitions, and even after IFMR, while visiting colleges for recruitments. I saw the quality of library at IFMR was really top notch. It was at par with all the IMs as far as finance is concerned. And all the various concepts that we learned on the class, there are a lot of practical, we learned concept the practical way, including if I pretty much remember, sir, your class, which we learned in the first semester itself. It was called IT and MIS. The way we learned hands-on Excel through Ganga sir and from you took us a step above our peers coming from other colleges while at work. The strong foundations of the theory that we learned during the various derivatives and fixed income portfolio and other papers, those really made us learn the topics of pricing or valuation, and allowed us to apply models in real life very quickly on Excel. And besides I remember Professor MJ Xavier used to take CRM and data analytics, and Professor PKV used to take advanced statistics and the market research theory as well in practical softwares like SPSS and SAS. And these are what is used in the industry even today.
Besides, because yours is one is the finance domain or risk domain in which you are specializing. Since you are in a senior position, you also have to deal with people your superiors, your subordinates, your fellow workers. How has IFMR's MBA training has helped you in dealing with all this various people and relationships?
Yeah, couple of things which I noticed straight away while joining in my first organization itself. There was a response in typical in a regular consulting line of work. We come across requests for proposals and requests for information from other banks and insurers, which have a certain need, and they float it. It is sort of a tender that they float to all consulting companies, and we have to respond immediately. These are time-bound responses. We have to respond within a certain time frame on how do we plan to implement their asset and liability management or liquidity risk management solution or so on. Now, during college, we used to have similar deadlines in our advanced financial modeling course or some of the other courses where Jijo, I remember Professor Jijo used to be very strict about deadlines. So we have the deadline would be 4 a.m. the next day or a certain day, and we would stay up the midnight to complete those assignments. So during those RFIs submissions, I was pretty easy. It was very easy for me to submit things on time, and there was no stress as such. It used to happen naturally as an extension of the way I have worked during MBA.
I see.
And on the other hand, on your question about how to manage teams, etc., the number of clubs and committees that we got exposed to during college, I was particularly, I was one of the members of the placement committee, of the student placement committee. So interacting with the different HRs and communicating all the information to a 120 batch size of 120, and meeting all those, the group of managing the group of 120 to find out all of their aspirations, managing their CVs, submitting them to all the HRs on time, and on the day of the placement, organizing the batch into units so that the interviews can happen seamlessly. All that seemed to come as second nature while starting with managing a team size of maybe 5 or 10 in my first job at Capgemini.
I think it's wonderful that we really would appreciate, your contribution to the upcoming students, future students, interacting with them, giving your inputs, updating them on the industry trends, and in all these various areas, we would like to be engaged on a continuous basis. How do you really plan to be associated with IFMR in future?
Yeah, over the last couple of years, so until the time I was very active in consulting, it was a lot of hiring and interviewing process going on because consulting is a people business. And that is the time I used to go hire from the, I had got a chance to visit IFMR a couple of times to be on the other side of the interview table in terms of recruiting people, students for my for the summer internships in my team. And besides the recruitments as well, I have visited a few times for to give my insights as in the form of a guest lecture when I was invited by Edge, the consulting club, a couple of times. And other than that, I keep interacting on and off with either Lakshmi ma'am or some of the other topics as to how the syllabus can be upgraded to reflect what is current in the industry.
Finally, I think the question that I have for you is, what is your advice to, it's not advice, people don't like that advice, your guidelines for the new MBA students, right? In the first year or second year, we're getting into the career through placement. What is your, what you can say, share your experience in terms of certain guidelines for success? Yes.
So my 2 cents to the upcoming batch, always keep an open mind. Do not have preconceived or preset notions that, yes, I have to take investment banking or I want to go equity research. Sample all the courses, come with an open mind, interact with all professors, both on and off the class. You might never know, even the strictest of professors are act as your friends and guides of the class. So keep an open mind. You will gradually develop a view of the world. And from time to time, it is very easy to get bogged down under the burden of books and marks. And in those cases, whenever you get time, try to read books from outside as well, or that will give you
more broad-based.
That will give you the high-level view of what to expect in the real world. Yeah.
I think it's been a great pleasure interacting with you, and we'll certainly continue this in more specific interactions targeted with some learning opportunities like that. This is a more general one, and we'll be in touch, and wish you all the very best. And we really would like to have you at IFMR as frequently as possible. Okay?
Definitely, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.